All right, everybody, here we go. I hope everybody is going good with their training, all aspects of training right now.
Oh, hey, guys.
Yes, sir.
I just want to let everybody know this is pre-recorded. So if you're curious if this is live or not, this is definitely not live. Anyways, back to the program.
All right, boys and girls, what do we got crack-a-lacking today? We have over here, that moved quick with power bodybuilding, really quick. I got the strength up there and all that. And then, like you guys know, we got to keep moving and grooving, right? And so we have an opportunity. We're going to be at the anybody going to the Arnold? Anybody going up to the Arnold? Because we are. And so we started slicing and dicing into the Arnold. There's a little Mona Marison action going on. What do we got? I'll keep pushing for all of it. Here, there, all around. They are fun. Movies themselves are fun. Why did I block you on Instagram? Well, here, first thing would be, I don't know who you are, so I can't answer that for you. Also, see that person right there? That's the team. That team blocks people. Not
There you go.
so.
Yeah, Tim blocked him because probably he's talking shit. I'm
Who's
gonna
talking shit?
mute myself now.
Why'd you
Yeah, sorry.
Hey,
Jeff.
CM, hit me up on Venmo if you want to get unblocked. All right,
Oh my god.
we'll do $9.50 to be unblocked.
Oh my god. Jeff
Which-
got jokes.
And you're muted. And I'm not joking.
Oh boy, we got the good crowd today. We got Mona. We're gonna pull John on here. Big Johnny's coming on as well today, and we got Mona and the crew. Did a fun little workout this morning. Here comes we got everybody going. But yeah, we started the slice and dice action. And training partners are all getting in extreme shape for the Arnold. And so we're jumping on the 30-day blitz. It's also really, really fun. The 30-day blitz is really fun just because I love training. So you get a couple workouts. And then you see the changes so quickly. But then also on Sundays, it gives you that little boost on Sundays celebration kind of with the meal plans. So there's a lot of aspects of why the blitz is so great and still one of my favorite ways to cut up. It's nice when you can play with it. And we were talking about, I was seeing today, a couple doctors were going over their protein to carb ratio before workouts and after workouts. And everything was like the minute amount. And like calorie intake was completely erased from this in the aspect of trying to keep your calories at a high calorie intake to keep your metabolism moving forward. And also being able to
I had myself here. Hello, everybody. My child. We have a lot of questions on here. That's amazing. I like saying all this. We just sent an invite to Johnny so he can join us because I know he loves hearing from everybody and he loves answering people and getting you guys on the right path here when it comes to health and fitness, of course. But that health is longevity is what he's representing really. So we'll bring him on in a little bit. We do have a lot of questions when it comes to like supplements and vitamins and geez, yeah. Um,
Go for it. Throw some questions up there.
oh, there we go. Hi, Mike, longtime fan. What do you think about raising your calories just beneath maintains and build muscle at that level of calories and here and there throw a high calorie day? So being on a plan with a certain amount of calories and then every
This is
fourth
Chris.
day have a high day. Hi, Johnny.
Hi, I got double trouble today, huh? What's going on, guys?
I don't know if you could handle this, but hey,
I
lucky
don't know.
day. It's a lucky day.
I don't know. This is gonna be a good one for sure.
So go for that again, Mo.
All right. So, do you think about raising your calories just beneath maintaining, is saying, and build muscle at that level of calories, and maybe here and there throw a high calorie day? So,
Yeah, a better term would be you're in a deficit, right? So your maintenance is wherever you're working out, whatever you're living, your lifestyle, and that's a good calorie intake. The belief should be, I think, for anybody to pick one or the other. By just staying in the maintain area, we've all said this, Johnny and I, is you're moving backwards. Let's pick a goal and move forward and get stronger so we keep the body healthy. Or if you want to get sliced, let's take it down and for a period of time stay in that deficit. The issue with this question I have is what you're saying is, can I do this for a year? And a lot of people do stay in a deficit for a year. And so what you're saying is, I'm going to be at no stage recovering fully and only worrying about slicing for this next year and never give my body a rest. So never give it the full recovery, never give it the right amount of calories, except one day a week. And then that's going to get me hurt. I don't like this idea, because what you're doing is you're basically saying, let me have a low carb high day split. And that's used for getting ready for a show. So that's a great idea for 12 weeks, maybe even just 8 weeks, because you don't just start off doing that. So it's such a short window of time that you want to do. You want to do that, and then you want to get back to your maintenance or building muscle. So Johnny, what do you got? I know Mo is always in a deficit, in a surplus.
Yeah, I mean, God bless Mo. I mean, listen, you're gonna definitely want to hit at least you're maintaining, calories for sure. I mean, if you're trying to do it, but I mean, raising those calories up a little bit at a time is the way you're gonna want to go until you're really revving your metabolism and everything's working like it should. I mean, just because you go in a calorie surplus doesn't mean you're gonna get fat. Now, if you go there too quick, probably, but if you do it over time, the body will start burning through those calories. So, at that point, I would think, listen, like Mike said, pick a goal and stick with it and go that direction. Do it for a time period and not a long extended time period. I think going in a deficit for over a year is a long time. And that's a long time, at that point. So, the cheat days, I understand the high calorie days and we were talking about that cheat meal or cheat day, right? That's the other thing. And I don't know. I mean, it's pretty hard to go in a calorie deficit every single day. I mean, for a year and get stronger and put on some good quality lean mass. Obviously, you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to develop the tissue. And at that point, I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, you can do everything you possibly can, but you're going to have to eat and you have to get the calories in. I mean, I don't know. I mean, for me, I think having the calories where they need to be and not going in a deficit like that, unless you're ready to slice, like Mike said. So, yeah, for me, I would say stay in the calorie, maintain, and raise up a little bit as you go.
I feel that you have to have the correct meal plan. And I'm going to give you an example real quick. but also the correct training plan. So they kind of like, kind of work together. So if I want to put on size and I need the right calories, right, and the right training plan. So I'll go to power bodybuilding and I'll do that for the amount of time that's the length that what it's saying there. So, if it's 9 weeks, it's 9 weeks. I eat the calories, I follow the steps, and then I take another program. I'll, getting ready for something. I'll take the 30-day blitz, which is a crazy plan to do in 30 days. Or I'll do the 6-week shred plan, and that pulls my calories back, and I do the training that comes with that plan, and then my body will change. So you always have to be on a plan. You can't just eat a lot of calories and do the 30-day blitz because you're not going to see the results that you really want. So you have to have the right training plan, the right nutrition, follow the plan together, and then we always change our plans. If you follow us, and you guys follow Mike, of course, he's got, most followers here, but you see that he's always, changing. It all depends what the goal is. He might have a movie coming up, maybe off season, and he needs to get the body on track, or whatever. He's always on the plan. I've never given him a meal, and even on a high day, that is not actually weighted out on a scale. So I always count the ounces of protein. We always do stuff that way because he needs to know mentally what he's taking in and how much more he's taking in than what on a high day. So it's always on a plan. So you gotta have a plan all the time. And I think if you have a plan, you also like more organized with your life. You know what meals you have next. You know when you have to get to the training to get it in. If you have an hour cardio, you schedule that in. So that's my 2 cents on it.
And I think that's the hard part for people, guys, right? Like to us, it comes natural because this is kind of what we do, right? It's our daily routine. But for somebody that's out there that they've never done this before, like that's kind of what we're here to help you to do is like dumb it down to a certain degree and you just follow what you're supposed to be doing. It makes it real easy to do it like that. It's, but you learn along the way when you do this. And that's what you get too, is you get a lot of knowledge. And a lot of knowledge is spilled out here for free too, as well. So at that point, like Mike has some very valuable knowledge. Mona has some very valuable knowledge, and I can help on the other side of things. So, I mean, I think that's key, having a plan, sticking to it. And if you don't know that plan, just like anything else, you go to your most credible source to get the information and you use that information for yourself. So yeah, I think it's a good idea for sure.
This guy did a great question, and I think this is a good question for society because I think they'll relate to this question. Don't you guys agree?
Yeah.
If I diet and then maybe have a high day, I'll get in the best shape of my life, kind of thing. And that's I understand the logic there. And again, this is great for 12 weeks. Go for it. But let's jump to the most basic thing there is in health and fitness or in weightlifting. On average, you're lucky in your prime years to gain 5 pounds of muscle in a year.
That's right.
5. Just 5. If you're in a surplus and you're training right and you're recovering right and you're doing these basic aspects of it, you get 5 pounds. That's so minute to me. I think that's very little. And so for me to play around and go, well, let me try something completely different during my peak years, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't go, let me just try to create the whole system again and see if this works. Right. It's like, I don't want to waste a year because in 2 years, now I got 10 pounds of muscle. Now we're getting somewhere. But how did I do it? Most basic stuff in the world. I didn't try to correct it and change everything and try to come up with tricks and stuff. So just keep that in mind, guys. I get the idea of something new and creative and let me stay in a deficit or let me fast all week and then eat all my calories I need to in one day. It's like you can do it, but it changes slowly. And again, the peak moments are there for a moment. So just really, my belief is, why wouldn't you give this everything you got? And in addition to that, that's where like John comes into play to enhance it even that much more to make sure you're getting the right sleep. Your IGF is working 100%. It's like so many factors here.
So many different things. All right. So what supplement is the most effective and legal that promotes extreme growth? So everything at Type Medical Center is legal. It's prescribed by a physician. So at that point, you guys would be set there. And there's a whole bunch of different things, right? So, I mean, you're looking at MK677. You know what's been a really good one that I've got a lot of positive feedback on lately is Hexarelin. Hexarelin's been a good one. I mean, it's kind of a step up from CJC. So at that point, I was really interested to see the results.
Could you
And-
jump back for a second? Explain
Sure.
what PJC, MK.
Sure. So what I'm talking about right now with these three are their growth hormone releasing hormone peptides. So they help your pituitary create more of your natural growth hormone. And in return, this actually raises IGF-1 levels. And with IGF-1 being raised, you get all the great benefits of revitalization, rejuvenation, anti-aging, recovery, lean muscle mass, losing body fat, and a whole bunch of other things, sleep, skin, hair, nails. So these are great tools to utilize. And at that point, when I talk about, getting extreme growth, MK677 is an oral. It's the only oral growth hormone peptide like that. And it will raise your hunger through the roof. And you will want to eat a lot. And this will promote more calories getting in. And if you're training correctly and you're eating clean, this is going to be a huge benefit to putting some tissue on and putting some strength on, as well as lean out a little bit. So that's a good one. But Hexarelin is an injection. And at that point, Hexarelin's been a really, really good one for people putting on lean body mass. I mean, the guys are loving it, right? I put a couple girls on it. They weren't happy because they weren't. I asked them, I said, because they're like, I went up like 8 pounds on the scale. I'm like, all right.
Wow.
All right. You went 8 pounds on the scale. Obviously, they don't want to go up 8 pounds on the scale. They look at that scale like, hell no, I don't want this. So my next question to them was like, all right, well, how are the clothes fitting? They don't fit any different.
Ooh.
How you look in the mirror? I look great in the mirror. I don't like the number on the scale. This is not what I want. I don't want to get jacked. I don't want to get big. I want to be lean and toned. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I understand. So we're going to take off Hexarelin then. I mean, that's been the response from Hexarelin. So obviously, with that information, because we take it as we get it, right? And at that point, if we start getting an abundance of people saying these things, then I'm going to start telling girls like, hey, this might not be the one for you, and CJC and 1295 with Ipirelin will be the one for you, or IGF-1 or something like that. But they've got some really, really good results from Hexarelin for putting on some extreme growth. IGF-1 would be my next one, LR3. I would probably do that. And at that point, you could even start, going with 1 month and then turning to another one and so on and so on, keeping the body guessing a little bit, mechanisms changing a little bit, and still getting the same good result and be able to utilize that tool.
Would also something for him would be some testosterone at this stage, depending
Absolutely.
on where he's at.
Right. So obviously, I don't know your age or your health history or anything like that, but listen, if you're over 30 years old,
It's
The privacy.
you're approaching your late 20s. I mean, if you're having symptoms of low testosterone,
I don't like
energy, fatigue, recovery sucks, sleep sucks, not motivated, depressed, ED, mental clarity's off. These are all symptoms of low testosterone, males and females. So at that point, if you're having some of these symptoms and you're looking at that, first thing we do would be a blood test. And I'd say blood test to anybody out there, no matter if you think you have low T or not. A full in-depth blood test from Type Medical Center nationwide will tell you a lot of different things that are going on inside your body and what's going on as far as how you feel on the outside, probably. So simple and easy to do nationwide. We can just call or text us 727-389-3220. Is muscle memory a real thing? I stopped working out for 3 months and I'm a lot smaller due to me losing sobriety and going crazy with alcohol.
That's great.
If I get back to it, will I bounce back to my old body? There's this thing as muscle memory. Definitely is there. Now, whether you lost muscle and went through atrophy, that's a whole different thing.
That's the greatest thing about, I think, with weightlifting and putting in your dues, even though you may lose them, like this gentleman, for a period of time. That's why they think mentally when people go back to training and it happens and they go, wow, I've only been training a week and I'm like getting back to the old self and I look really good. And 2 weeks in, I'm almost as back as I was 3 months ago. That's the muscle memory.
Yep.
And it's the coolest thing about the body is it gets right back to it and it gets that muscle back on you and everything. So yeah, they didn't just make that up.
No.
All that kind of science stuff is real stuff. Memory muscle is a great thing. So enjoy it and all the best to you on your journey. I know life is tough.
Yeah.
It's
Stay
tough for
strong.
everybody. Mo, what do you got about muscle memory and you?
Let me see. So I feel like when I took off, right, when I was pregnant with Titan, I haven't worked out really, right, with the whole process that we did. And we have information on the YouTube, how I pulled back on training and how I ate and all that. Not only that, the muscle got smaller for me, but also my strength wasn't there. Because I remember when I went back to the gym, I couldn't even do one pull up. So I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do pull up. That's crazy. I used to do, 12, 15 pull ups easy. And it took not long for the strength and also to bring back the look that I wanted. It literally responded really well. So I think muscle memory, it's always like we call it foundation, it's always there. You just got to get back on track and, to lifting the weights, to eating right, do what you need to do. That way you can see the results that you want. And don't
Got a
think that
question for you, Mo.
2 days. Yeah.
I mean, obviously you ate pretty good because I know Mike was probably on you watching every little detail of what's going on. He's like, my little man's in there. But
Right.
during your pregnancy, did you train? I mean, of course, I'm probably thinking she did not train.
No.
So
No.
we had
Wow.
a different. I got lucky, and this is for any father out there and mother that's going to be out there and have this. We got lucky that I didn't have in I guess today's world the Instagram woman that's going through the pregnancy that wants to be a beast and train and go all the way through her whole pregnancy.
And you see the diet, right? Diet because they don't want to put on a lot of weight and all
Right.
that. Like, what are you
I
doing?
understand that side of the world. I understand that, and I understand. Listen. If anybody is addicted to weightlifting and staying on a schedule with eating,
No.
it is me.
Yeah.
100%. So I understand that, but I got lucky that the incubator, and that's what it is. Mona was an incubator for my son for those months, and not just the 9 months. We prepped her body months and months before the fact to make sure she had a good ratio of fat on her body and moving into the situation of having a baby. And then, unfortunately, weightlifting is stress. So no matter what you are told, and that's we had a great second doctor. The second doctor was, you train 6 days, go to 3. You do caffeine this much. He cut everything to where you don't shock the body and turn it into a spinning circle. You just bring it down. And so we tapped everything and brought everything down. Because of her age, we wanted no stress to the baby. And so we got lucky that Mona was like, I'll eat for 2, and especially the right foods for him. And then I'll take off training. And so there's no stress to the baby. And so, yeah, so for the first 3, no training, second 3 months, moderate. And then the last 3, no training. Surprising. I know, right? It surprised you.
I mean, I just, at that point, like, I know some girls that do a little bit like light, like they'll go on the stepper and stuff like that, especially towards the end of the pregnancy, because, doctors actually tell them, like, hey, listen, this can help, start the pregnancy going basically and start getting it out when it's that time. But no, I mean, listen, that's great. I mean, listen, rest on the body, no stress is the best, right? I mean, that's, if you're putting that environment in there as far as the food and the nourishment, I mean, you put the best possible place, I guess, to say. Hey, listen, that's a blessing for sure. And obviously, look what you got.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
must
look
did
at
something
that.
right for sure.
It worked for sure. Did we do this question right here already? How would one beat sugar addiction, which prevents them from losing weight? I'm not understanding it.
Johnny, what do you got for that?
How would you one beat sugar addiction, which prevents them lose weight? It's real simple. Stop eating sugar. It's not that easy, right? But you stop. If you stop eating sugar after so many days, you won't crave sugar. But if you eat sugar one time, you're gonna crave it. It hits the brain, right? It hits the dopamine, right? It's a reward function. You start wanting more. That's why people binge like that, right? Just can't get enough. So at that point, that's what I would say to it. Say stop eating sugar. If you can't, I don't know what to say. You gotta. We have some different medicines or therapies that will help you stop craving sugar, like tesofensine or maybe some GLP-1s. But at that point,
great. That's great.
Yeah.
You could do something like that, and then I agree with Johnny. It's an all or nothing kind of thing, especially the beginning. You jump all in. You have John help you out on trying to curve that, and I'm an eater. If I didn't have the discipline I would have, I'd be 350. So yeah, easily. So I understand wanting to eat that stuff and having it and stuff, but check with John on those things, and then just cut it. Just do the best you can. Cut it. Maybe one day a week. Have your a meal, a celebration that you got through a week. But your health is going to pay dividends. And one of the worst addictions, Johnny, you could tell me about this, is diabetes is probably one of the worst things you could do to yourself.
It is.
And it's going to come from that sugar.
It's going to come from the sugar. It is. And that's in turn is going to cause a lot of different things. And one is people usually become obese or overweight, right? Because their sugar and their insulin's all messed up. Your body is just not working like it should. Insulin resistance and all these different things. So yeah, if you can stop or you can just slow it down. That's the other thing. People drinking, I don't know, 3-4 pops a day. I don't know how much caffeine and sugar's in there, and then all the other garbage is in there, and then cake, and then I don't know, man. So it's hard to stop sugar if you like sugar, and sugar's and everything. But if you do it, you will notice a difference after 7 days. You will not crave sugar. But when you eat sugar again, you will start craving it like it's going out of style, like a drug addict. Basically, that sugar's a drug, man. It is. It's very, very highly addictive drug.
Yeah, Johnny, go ahead.
It's a good one though.
Yeah.
I love sugar.
What are the medicine that you can prescribe to help curb?
Sure. So tenzofensine is one of them. It's our Titan Trim. That's a capsule, and basically that's a triple up inhibitor. So that's going to help with like serotonin, dopamine levels, and all that. It will also help curb sugar cravings, specifically in food cravings. This is a good way. We usually pair this one up with like a GLP-1. If somebody wants to go on a GLP-1, be on a low dose. And when you're on a GLP-1, you're supposed to have appetite suppression anyway, right? But that doesn't mean that people won't try to like eat some sugar of some sort, donut or candy or whatever it is. It will totally like turn it off in the brain. So at that point, like you're not like craving it, because that's usually what it is. Your body like automatically associates it with that dopamine hit. When it looks at it, says, all right, this is what's going to happen. Eat it, right? And at that point, you don't eat it. So, you'll cut the cravings tremendously, like big time. I even seen one guy in here talk about L-theanine. That's another good one too, as well. It's an amino acid that people do use to help, cut those cravings too as well. But if you want something that really works, tesofensine is one a good one for it.
Would that be an injection?
Capsule. Yeah, tesofensine comes in a capsule. So
I think
for a lot of different things.
I think that's going to help a lot of people. I think that's one for you guys to give up and give a call to Titan Medical.
Yeah, it does bring me to the therapy of the week, which is MOTS-c. So MOTS-c is back, and MOTS-c is just we're talking about a game changer in itself too as well. So, it is a peptide, but it's ingrained in our mitochondria. So all throughout the body, we're talking about this, and They call it exercise in a bottle. I don't want to pitch it like that, but it does boost metabolism and it actually gets into the skeleton mass, helps with lean muscle mass and putting on muscle too as well. Also helps sugar levels as far as regulating. So there's some different things in that, for somebody that's really looking to make a change in transformation and maybe get some help on the sugar level side too as well. Because if you do a hemoglobin A1C, like you can do blood work through us, and we can do this test on there for like another $25. You can see if you're pre-diabetic or if you're a diabetes type 2 patient or so on, right? And if you're in a pre-diabetic stage, this should set off the alarms and be like, listen, I'm not to type 2 yet, but I'm on my way. What do I need to do to change this? Right? You have it black and white. So, that should sound the alarms for you, and you should definitely do a blood test to see where you're at. A lot of people do not do this blood test, and the only reason they get this blood test later on is because they start showing symptoms of being a type 2 diabetic. And at that point, then it's a little too late. Not to say you can't reverse diabetes type 2, because I have seen some patients do it. But at that point, like it's just sucks that if you get to that point, like now you're fighting an uphill battle.
So now that we're stop eating sugar. All right. So now that I ate all the sugar, I need to lose some fat here, Johnny. Look at this. What's losing fat and gain muscle at the same time?
Yeah. So this is kind of what brought me to the therapy of the week with Mod C. It will help lose fat, maybe gain some muscle. But we could talk about tesamorelin too the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some really, really good ones when we talk about this. The GHRH, growth release hormone peptides, would cover these bases, right? But Mod C would cover these bases too, as well, as far as losing fat, gaining muscle at the same time, and having some other benefits to go along with it too, as well.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't
The
want to
good thing
lose
is
fat?
you have a multitude of different options here to go with. So
You mentioned the girls earlier, and the girls gained 8 pounds, which is for a female a tremendous percentage of body weight gained.
yeah,
And the clothes
Yeah,
didn't.
but-
But see, I look at it as a good thing. Her clothes didn't fit different, so that
was
means
the thing.
she had to have leaned up and shaped up even better. She even said,
Yes.
"I look great in the mirror." So again, she's firming up, and again, muscle is smaller than fat, and so she's
Yeah.
gaining this muscle, and the scale to her looks bad,
Yeah.
but the clothes fit fine,
Right.
and her body looks great. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, you just lost fat and gained muscle. That's what everybody would love to do.
Exactly. That was exactly what I was saying. I was like, all right, but I understand what you're saying. She's like, I don't want to be bulky. She's like, I do Pilates. Like, I'm like, all right, listen, I totally understand what you're trying to do. And if this is giving you this effect, then we need to get you off of this and we need to take you on to something else. So that's what we did.
Oh man.
Right.
So he is a 50-year-old and he's wondering if regular supplements like the BCAA, EAA, glutamine, and pre-workouts is something that people could take in the 50s. What are you, dad?
Yeah, no. I mean, obviously, right? Except for, I would look at the pre-workout maybe, but all the other ones, you want branched chain amino acids, EAs, branched chain amino acids are EAs, glutamine and all that good stuff. So, at 50 though, I want to know where the testosterone level's at. I want to know where that's at. Because at 50, that's, that's either really good or real bad usually. I don't really see too many guys in the middle of 50. And maybe 500. I've seen a couple of that. And then usually they're in the 300s or lower. So what did that come back as, Mike?
Yeah, that's what we need to find out for those things. What's your T level at? 100%.
And if you want to know what supplements you really need that you're not getting, as far as that, we could run a full amino acid profile that covers all the BCAAs, all the AAs, glutamine, and every other amino acid there is. So at that point, we could test that and see where everything's at. And then we can make an educated decision about what we should really supplement with.
Because I was doing aminos and EAAs, glutamine, lysine, all in a drink, in 1 gallon. And I would do double dose on everything. And I was drinking this throughout the day and through the workouts with my sodium in there and dextrose. And then I had Titan Medical do a amino acid lineup of me, and I'm sitting there going, I'm good. I know I'm good. I'm taking this in. I'm taking all day. I got tested, and everything was low. And I'm like, okay, this is where like Hercules potion came into play, and I started all that because I was like, it's amazing the amount that I'm taking, and I'm not getting the recovery that I want because my body's not even utilizing or to the filled level of what it could utilize. So that's where that really flipped for me, and that helped my recovery so much. And yeah, so and I am in my 50s too, so these are something that I think is a great thing. And then instead of a pre-workout, Johnny, I know you have something that saved me on this last cut.
Oh yeah.
Honestly,
I mean,
honestly.
our ECAs, our ephedrine, caffeine, aspirin, B12, and chromium capsule. I mean, that thing. I mean, we have different doses for different people because it's got stimulants in it, but most cleanest energy you're going to get, no crashes, mental clarity. It's going to help you burn fat thermogenesis wise too as well, burning inside. That runs me every day. I take one in the morning and I'm going from like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning all the way to like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning some nights. So I've been trying to get to bed earlier, 9, 10, 30 at the latest. But at that point, it gets me running all day. I don't take any of the energy drinks, pre-workouts, or anything like that. I train. So it's not like I'm not training either. So you'll get some good energy, like I said, with it, and no negative other garbage that's in it. So that's the best way. If you combine ECA Stack Plus with Hercules Potion, that is the best pre-workout anybody's going to make, guaranteed, hands down.
Saved me.
All right, so here's somebody that's having an injury or some sort of problem. How to recover from a leg day? Oh, it's not an injury. He wants to just recover from a leg day
Yeah.
faster than he's supposed to feel like I'm gonna fucking die doing regular things the next day. All right, so he just wants to recover, wake up and just walk around.
Come train legs with me. I like this guy.
Ugh.
Yeah, I
This
like
is good. Jesus.
it. What a
Yeah.
beast.
You'll probably you will die. Not in a couple
Yeah.
of days either. That day probably won't be able to walk out of the gym. Have to bury you in there.
And I know you have a plethora of things to recover.
Yes. Yeah. For recovery wise, listen, there's so many different things that Titan offers. With this, then we talk about those GHRH peptides, and we can talk about some other ones too as well, like BPC 157 and TB 500. It can definitely help with some of these different things as far as, maybe you're hurting like that. And obviously, listen, if you're not recovering, like a little bit quicker than usual, then at that point you could look at, different things on a blood test like hormone levels too. Just make sure you're optimal there, because if those things are off, you won't recover fast or like you should either. So, these are the different things you should be looking at.
I love that you said that.
Yeah.
Because everybody thinks of like, okay, yeah, I do red light therapy, I'll do sauna, people do cold plunges, all these kind of methods to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let's look in your body and find out if your body itself is set up to
Right.
recover. And then especially as you're aging and stuff, it's like we got to make sure that that's running before you can get the secondary stuff.
1,000,000%. I mean, that should be the first place you look, right? I mean, at that point, and then you start adding the other different things on that could benefit you even more, I guess. I don't know.
Everybody that's on this, and then next week when we do this, if you could have your T levels already or your blood work done,
Ooh.
I think here's the and I was just watching some of these. I love Dr. Rand. I love Andrew Herberman. I love these doctors and stuff, and they're talking about things, and I'm sitting there going, I get it. They got to put content up, but I'm like, there's just such a basic to this that they, unfortunately, you can't just say, well, here's the basic steps, and then you can go from there. And I think one of the basic steps is just knowing if your body, where it's at, what it's doing, and then going, hey, John, Mike, hey, my T level's at 700. Great. That's taken care of. That's off the table. We don't need to worry about that. Let's move to the next thing. And I think that's just more helpful, guys. And again, for like the 50-year-olds, the 35 and over, it's all you. If you have something, you know what you're what's going on? Is your cholesterol high? Is your hemoglobin's all over the whatever it is? Try to get that information. Try to get that information and then present it. Just maybe for future for anybody here. Go for it, Johnny.
Says Mike, what is the best way to combat my super fast metabolism? I feel like I eat all day and can't get enough food to gain any weight. I'm 5'11", 145 pounds with a goal weight of 175. What's your advice?
Oh, great. Hey, we're going to be here for a minute. Michael, so just give me the exact calorie breakdown that you eat every day. All right. That's all I need from you. Just that simple. You have that because, like you said, you eat all day. You want to gain weight. You would have your calorie breakdown exactly what you're supposed to be taking in carbs, protein, and fats. Just put that down on the feed and we'll pull you up here in a couple minutes. Okay.
Is being lean year-round unhealthy? Why are lean people always cold? It's bad on your cardiovascular system? Health? Question mark. Is it bad? I don't think being lean all year round is unhealthy. It depends how lean, right? Like percentage of body fat that's on you. Why are all lean people cold? I don't think all lean people are cold either. I mean, I stay pretty lean year round and I'm like a furnace.
John, you're
I'm
in
like
Florida. You're in Florida. You can't even talk about this. You got the best weather in the world, and you can deal with that weather. So you,
I'm gonna do it, but I mean, still, like, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're in hot weather or cold weather. Listen, I've got girls that are in this building right now, and it's 75 degrees, and they all got jackets on. Now they're cold, right? Where like me, like I need to keep the air conditioning down to like 65 degrees in my room. I'm a polar bear. I'm a furnace. I don't care. I love it. But if I was up in negative degree weather, I'd be bundled up. So I'd probably be cold there.
I get pretty cold when I'm lean. Mona likes me when I'm lean because then the house isn't freezing.
Yeah, other than that, I have to put a sweatshirt on all the time because it's so
It's like a
hot.
furnace.
I do want to address one thing here. So there's two types of lean. There's the guy that's not doing cardio. He eats his meals every day. He looks incredible. He's not on a deficit, like Johnny right there. And he's not this the guys that you see go to the gym going 100%, balls to the wall, 12 weeks till the show. They go in there, they go through the motions, they get a good sweat, they burn a little bit, they get the body done what it needs to do, and they leave. And they're like, God dang, I don't see you do cardio. I don't see you starving. I see your head. That's just a metabolism that is working and the person is fine. That's not unhealthy. But the guy that's doing 2 hours of cardio every day in a complete deficit every day, that's in there going balls to the wall, it is going to catch up to him because that's mileage and no recovery. So those are two different kind of people now. Let's see here. Health and fitness has both. There's these football players that you guys don't even see that are amazing that don't do very much work off season. And they just walk around like that. And that's a great thing. And that's my goal would be for everybody to be able to be like that you don't have to be on cardio all year. You don't have to be in a deficit all year. And you're healthy, walking around, your testosterone's working correct. Again, that's where Johnny getting the engine to run right gets you to that level. Instead of you guys' mindsets thinking that you always have to do cardio, always have to diet in a deficit, you always have to do this. There's something off if that's where it's working at all times.
Here's a good one. Hair products. What do you use? This is good for men and women, by the way, girls.
Yeah, so I mean, hair product wise, therapy wise, guys, we've got some great ones. Talk about our injectable biotin. It's the best way to get biotin in the system. The other one are our hair health capsules, which have a great mixture of different things to make the hair healthy, shiny, and actually help block some DHT, some things that, as far as it goes on the hair.
Do you do one or the other? Or you could do both? Do you do one or the other?
Sure. So you could take either or, but the best way to do it would be combined. If you're taking combined, then you're getting the injectable and you're getting the oral version. And at that point, it's going to help promote better hair, skin, and nails. So those are the two. Now we do have a foam too as well, and the foam has Lantropos, which is the cousin Latisse. So like it'll help thicken the hair. It has minoxidil in it, which will help keep the hair, and finasteride will help keep and grow too as well. So, this is something that you can use, and you use it every day. You can use all three of these things, and like I said, you use one by themselves, but obviously, if you use two of them combined together, it'd probably be a better result for you guys.
Just FYI, everybody, I do all three.
Yes, you do.
Me too.
Yes,
I
he
have
does.
always been impressed by Mike's ability to stay at the level he is, even after all these years. What does he think a person actually starts to significantly go downhill due to age? And does he think that number is changing?
Ooh, most people I see in their 30s, they start going downhill, and it's because of mindset. I would love to see the number change, but I also understand that it's an interesting thing. It's the reason why the Robbie Robinsons out there and these guys and the Jack LaLannes, it's all mental strength. It's their control of their minds, and they also don't think of themselves as the average. So those are the things I recommend to anybody that's here. Don't compare yourself to the average. Start looking at people like Johnny, who's in his 40s and looking like a stud by the pool parties.
Yeah.
Mona's closing in. Sorry to say it, closing in on that 50. It's an absolute freak.
Big year this year. I know.
We're doing a big party.
Oh my God. I'm hanging out with Johnny this year for my
We'll do it in
Yeah,
Florida.
that's
He
what I'm
knows
talking
how to
about.
party. Mike has no idea
right.
what a party
That's
is.
right. We have some fun. So they do have an answer for this. But they came out. I would just read the research on this thing. It was I don't know how much this is true. So they say that the rapid change happens at two ages, 44 and 60. I don't know. I'll be 44 next month, so I'll tell you. But I don't know. I don't. I think it's a mind thing, a mental thing, and I think it's a physical thing too as well. So I think if you stay young in the mind and you take care of yourself, then I think at that point, it could be what your inner age is, I guess. Instead of your chronological age, it could be your biological age, I guess.
I'm with you. 44, I was doing gladiators, and so I was
That's
knocking
insane.
ahead, and I think I my strength was absolute savage by 46, 47. Ridiculous. I was like, okay, tone down a bit. Even for me, I said, I don't need to go that kind of weight. And Billy Gunn is 61 now, almost 62. Clark Bartram was here on Sunday. He's 61. So I agree with the research, but the research is, again, off the average Joe.
Right.
It's not off the guy that's the 1%. It's not off
Right.
that. And so continue to live that 1%. Continue to put yourself in that position for everybody that's here.
Yeah, I don't think a person, it says a person actually starts to simply go downhill due to age. I think the person goes downhill. I don't think it's due to age. There's a lot of people that are young that go downhill and run themselves down, like, you know what I'm saying? And they're like 30s, 40s tops. So I don't think it's just necessarily an age. I think it's a person.
Yeah, you could write that thing into the ground. Look at bodybuilders. They're out of their 20s into their 30s, and they're already writing it into the ground. They're done. And I talked about this. I talked about the span of what's possible. Robbie Robinson benching 225 at 14 and still doing it at 80. So there's a graft, right? But then you can take some of the greatest bodybuilders, and they didn't hit that 225 until they were 20, and they were done with it by 35. So it's you, the individual. Get the blood work done. See what Johnny can do to slow down the process of time, minimize the decline, how to bump up whatever you can. And this is what I don't understand. You're this is the youngest you're ever going to be. So why wouldn't you call over there and see what you can do right this second?
Yeah. Will biotin stop me from going gray?
Is
I
there
have to
anything
double look
magic
this
that you
up
could do there?
research wise, but I'm gonna say no. Even if you take biotin, it's not gonna stop you from going gray. I know there are some different medicines out there they're working with right now, and different trials that are going to supposedly stop this, like peptides or whatever that can stop this. I don't know if that's ever going to go out, but biotin's not going to stop you from going gray. Everybody would be taking biotin, and nobody would be having to get hair coloring of any sort. Think about that. Sharice is just starting to get grays right now. She's flipping out. She's got like one or two, dude. She's like, rip them out. Like, you better inject your biotin.
That's funny. Funny that people want just a magic pill so they could stay young, right?
Right? Hey,
Oh,
no,
magic.
listen, everybody's looking for that. I'm looking for that. I am the new Dage Ponce de Leon. I am looking for the fountain of youth. That's why I came to Florida. And I've established Titan Medical Center, but I still haven't found something that's going to keep us alive for thousands of years. Hopefully it gets past 100. That's what I'm looking to do. Healthy at 100.
Moving, right. I agree with that. Like moving and grooving.
Right?
Yeah.
Healthy at 100. Not in a bed or not in a chair. Hopefully healthy movement. That's what it's about.
If you ever
Right.
saw how Robbie Robinson walks through the gym when he first gets there, it's such a tunnel vision. It's such a different mindset. He actually looks like a panther walking through the front, and he's up on his toes, moving forward, and it's like, just move out of his way. This guy's here to live.
Right.
And there's
That's dope.
a silent intensity to it, and it's cool because he's still that 20-year-old college football player walking in there going, I'm gonna tussle and kick some ass, and then I'm gonna go chase some tail after this.
It's all about mentality, man, right?
Yeah, and he's 80. It's like that's what you like to be around. It's like nobody can fathom that. Or sitting down with Frank Zane or talking to Arnold, and these guys is, I think the Beatles, George said this. He goes, we were just 17 and now he's 57. The only thing that changed was the body. The mind is the same thing. And so it's just the decay of the body. And so for these other guys, their bodies didn't diminish. And so it's just cool to see that there's the same individual that was here in the 70s that I grew up to going, I you guys are my idols. You guys push me. And so that's what John can do for anybody and everybody out there. If you're willing to make those steps.
This guy is doing yoga. I think I just put this up because I highly recommend when you do training to also include yoga because it's good. As I'm getting older, I feel like I should do yoga at least once a week. It's good for everything, for the mind, for the body, for stretching, for everything. I think, yeah, I like that, David.
Yeah.
I do.
I mean, yeah, stretching is obviously a great part. I mean, that's one thing that I could, if I could preach to younger guys, I would keep your mobility, keep your movement and your mobility. Don't get so tight that you can't rotate your shoulders or touch. I mean, keep your mobility, even your legs and stuff like that. I mean, that's the biggest thing I would say to people because after so long, man, you lose it. You use it or lose it, and that's what it is. So, and I mean,
This guy's probably young. He said that he did D-ball and it's not working. He was doing it for
I was
2 weeks.
drinking
You're
it for
probably
2
young, and
weeks.
It doesn't help your body. What is wrong with you?
You were drinking it for 2 weeks. What were you drinking it?
I mean, I'm sorry I'm laughing here, but it's so many things that you could do. You go for the D-ball and then it's like 2 weeks in there and it's like, man.
Is it really D-ball? That's what I'm saying. You guys don't know what you guys
Mona,
are
we're held
into.
up on these drinking D-ball. That's, I never heard that one.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I learn something new every day.
Get your money back, buddy.
Does boron and DIM work for building muscle? I wouldn't recommend DIM to anybody. So DIM is like something that they said that this could naturally suppress estrogen levels or conversion. So this was something that I remember we were going to A4M a long time ago that a lot of these doctors were trying to put this in testosterone regimens. And it was going to replace the anastrozole or estrogen blocker that you're using, aromatase inhibitor. And I remember every patient that went on this, their estrogen was through the roof on rebound effect. It was ridiculous, Mike, when I seen on blood testing. So I wouldn't recommend DIM for anybody. I'm just being honest with you guys. Boron, I don't know enough about as far as talking educational wise to tell you guys yes or no on that, but I haven't seen big studies on boron building a whole bunch of muscle. Unless
Well, the boron, it's basically trying to free up your free testosterone.
Hold on.
right. But I haven't seen too much on that either.
Yeah. So,
I've seen people take this boron and stuff like that, and I haven't seen any testosterone levels like getting raised. Like usually they come like, yeah, my testosterone is gonna be really good. I'm like, all right, cool. And then they tell me they took the supplement, and then I read the back of what's in it. This might be usually in it. Ashwagandha's in it, and there's like one other one or something like that. And I'm like, okay, so run the blood. Blood doesn't come back that good. Guy's like, oh, well, I thought I was getting some good results from this. I guess not. I'm like, well, I mean, that could be a placebo effect too, as well.
Right. Yeah. I don't know much about DIM.
I wouldn't go towards them. How much cardio is too much, and what's just enough? Wow.
Take that, Johnny.
Well, I wouldn't do cardio every day. That's just me. I wouldn't do it for hours on end. That's just me. I think that's too much. I think if you want to be healthy, I guess 30 minutes, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, might be healthy if you want to do it. It really depends on what you're really trying to do, right? Cardio it's for cardiovascular health. If you're just doing it for something like that, that's fine. But, for me, I'll just be honest with you. I do no cardio, zero. The only cardio that I do is in the bedroom with Sharice. And at least I can go in there for like 10 minutes. So if I'm doing 10 minutes of cardio in bed, I'm doing a good job. Can I run fast?
10 minutes. Holy
10
shit.
minutes. Well, I got to roll over at one point. My shoulders, I can't roll over. So I got to use my body and flip over. It takes me a little time to maneuver in there.
I got you. I'm there for a minute and I'm out, showered and ready to eat something. So I don't get
Oh my God.
this 10-minute thing.
Okay. Will Titan Medical carry NAD and nasal spray, or is it a bad delivery system? We do offer it in a nasal spray. It's just, I don't think it works that good as far as a nasal. I've tried the nasal. I don't like nasals anyway because I don't like sticking something on my nose and squirt. I just don't. I had my nose broke too many times, and at that point, it's just not good for me. But feeling, that's what the major thing was what I cared about. And I didn't get the result that I would get from an injectable. So it's just not on me. Now, if you want to do the nasal spray and you try it, that's totally up to you.
What else do you see there, Johnny?
Let me see what we got here. Too much. What do you do is losing fat and gain muscle? We did that one. Mike, what's your opinion on micro training sessions for busy guys? Like today after work, I did 3 exercises for back, only 6 working sets. Greeting from the Netherlands.
I think that's a full workout.
Right?
Yeah,
6 working sets.
That's yeah. I think if those are your top sets, you got 6. I think that's great.
Yeah.
It's not a micro, but let's go off of the idea of a micro training session. What's your thought?
I like micro training sessions. If you can get it in, get it in. A lot of people they wait and they're like, oh, I'm gonna do this later, and they never get it done. So at that point, if you need to get it done, get it done. But try to start, playing out. I see this guy's picture, right? His arms look pretty good. He's got some pretty good veins in there and everything like that. So it looks like you're doing something right. So just stick with it, man. If it's working, keep moving forward. People always second guess themselves, especially when they're in a good situation sometimes. They get people and they start giving their opinions and stuff like that, and then they start making them second guess. At that point, don't. If that's what's working, then start moving forward and keep going.
Yeah, if you're off season, and I agree with like a lot of these guys, is that most people overtrain, do too many. And so my thought, and I agree with this, is like if you're hitting a top set on an exercise, that's really one set, right? And you maybe did 3 or 4 working sets or prior sets, more of a warm up in a fashion. So you got one set of real exercise, and you did 3 exercises. That's really technically just 3 sets, and that's plenty for the body. Even though you did 5 sets before that, they weren't the ones that were straining you to that point. And most people at that level, the most pinnacle level, that's all they're doing. I know that sounds odd, but it's the intensity of those big sets that you really get. You go up to 500 and hit 12 reps, it's tenfold better than hitting 3 sets of 15 at 300 pounds. So, yeah. And like Johnny said, visual, getting stronger, you look good, it works.
There was one up there. There was one that had to break down their macros and stuff like that. Keep going. Yellow. It says, hey, Mike, 6'3", 240 in the off season. Currently intaking 4,110 calories, 373 grams of protein, 351 carbs. Thoughts on this and how I can talk to you more without waiting for live.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can talk to me in the Titan Crew, guys. Anybody and everybody can talk to me in there.
Yeah.
So that's available to you. And any of my links in the bio will get you there. I think you're doing great, kid. It's great calorie intake. This is a great calorie intake.
Protein's on point for sure.
Yeah. I think it's great. Yeah, get in the Titan Crew. That way we can talk about this further. The height, your weight, all of this sounds great. I just got to see the visual, and then we'll talk about the training and how much you're doing. All right?
Hey, what would be your all opinion on MSM, glucosamine, and fish oil supplements? So I think those are good for sure, especially if they're good quality ones. We do have a glucosamine injectable. I don't see too many people ordering it because they do take the oral form of it. Fish oils, they can be really good or they can be really bad products. I've seen both. So even for fish oils, so you could possibly get one prescribed. They have Vasipa. Vasipa is the most cleanest fish oil you can get, and obviously it's prescribed, and that's why. They actually have the clinical studies on it, the whole nine. It's got the FDA approval. If you look at any other fish oil supplement on the market, it's usually yellow, right? It smells pretty bad. The Vasipa one is totally clear, like water. It doesn't smell at all. Super crazy. They use this for cardiology patients and stuff like that. Obviously cholesterol if it's bad and stuff. So it's a good one.
I would mix it. I would do these both for mental, that you're trying to do something and you're taking something, but then I would also combat it with the BPC and TB500.
Absolutely.
Right? It's
100%.
like, I'm assuming they're doing it for arthritis and connective tissue and stuff and joints.
Usually glucosamine, yeah, that's
Right?
that's a given, yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with you. I should have said it myself. BPC 157, TB500 for sure with this. If it is for, joint areas, arthritis, I mean, it can definitely help a ton.
Yeah, I would try to push that stuff off as long as possible, meaning the arthritis and the ligaments. So I would do that at a much younger stage.
Yeah.
And you guys, you youngsters, take advantage of that one. And I get this is going to sound stupid. Take more advantage of that, the BPC and the TB500, than you going, I need creatine. I need to get jacked. I'm telling you, if you could do that all year, you're going to be able to train all year, and then you're going to get muscle, and then so on and so forth. So just my take.
All right. Do you do warm-up exercises or warm-up exercise sets or just a few sets on a maybe slightly lower weight before hitting your max?
What do you do, Johnny?
Um, honestly, I'll warm up a little bit as far as like stretching and stuff like that. I mean, I do a pyramid type progressive workout, so I mean, I'll start a little bit lower. I guess I don't start a too low of a weight. I guess I don't start at my max either. I don't know what to say about this. I start about 70%. 70% is where I start at, and I'll just move it up. I guess from where I'm at. So I'll give you an example. So if I'm doing chest, I'm using dumbbells, I'm doing flat, right? So I'll start out in my first set, I'm going to do 85-pound dumbbells. And then I'm going to move up to 95-pound dumbbells. And then I'll move to 100 or 105 is what I did this week. So that's how I do it. That's how I do mine. And I don't know. I mean, my shoulder's done. My right shoulder is bone on bone. I have arthritis throughout my shoulder. So obviously I don't want to damage my shoulder anymore. What I found is this workout works for me. Like I can usually do this and I'm not having any pain when I'm lifting, which is great. So if I can continue to do that, then that's what I'm going to do. And if I can continue to move the needle strength wise, that was a big one for me, right? Strength wise, if I can do that, the look is going to come. I'm not worried about that, but the strength, if I can keep building up the strength, because for me, that's one of the biggest things I want to do. I want to build up as much strength as possible, especially in my shoulder area, chest area, and all that. So I'm real nice and tight in here. So at that point, that's what I've done.
I love it. I only do warm-ups. I do warm-ups all the way till the weight, and then I'll do a set. That's how I do it.
So you warm up and and then at the last set, whatever your max is going to do, you just hit that.
I'll warm up to it.
Gotcha.
So
you're going up, right?
yeah, this is just like you, just the same exact way. And I think that's everybody should do that, and don't count everything before that. If it's squats, I'm 135, and I'll probably do 135 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
225, 315, 4, but I won't do a lot of reps. It's just a warm up, and it's more of a stretch than it is reps. And then I'll hit 5, and I'll even warm up with that one time to get the nervous system ready, and then I'll come back and start my workout. I'll do all that prior to it, and then the actual workout itself, 15 minutes done. It's the warm-ups that takes for me. Everything I do, warm up.
It's for the nervous system. It wakes it up that
Just
way.
get the body fully set for that position, for the weight, and then I'll start. I got no issue warming up as long as it takes. Yeah.
Do you think most people should do power bodybuilding? It's the best training form for most people. Well,
I do, just because of the fact that it's the least amount of mileage on a body. It will get you to the pinnacle strength using percentages and overload, and it will keep you the most safe. And it's setting you up so in years to come you can still do this. That's why I do it, and that's why I created it. It's just healthy. It takes away the mindset that you have to go in and grind. It takes that out of there, because you can get growth without doing that. You can get muscle building. It's like, you guys have heard this. Johnny, what about you? You found something that works for you.
What's that?
You found something that works for you.
Yeah. No,
You're training.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if it works for you, then at that point you stick with it. I mean, that's the best thing I could say. And less wear and tear in the body is the best. So train smarter, not harder. He's got that right. I mean, I'm going to turn 44 and my shoulder's gone. His shoulders are still there. So at that point, he's been smarter than me in the training sessions as far as that goes. My left arm is weaker than my right because I didn't train properly in the past. Now I feel pain in my left shoulder when I do some exercises. How can I fix that? Well, BBC 157 TB 500 can hopefully help heal the pain in your shoulder, 1,000,000%. And then at that point, if your left arm is weaker than your right arm, you need to start catching things up. And if you're having pain in your shoulders, then you need to start working on your shoulders. You need to isolate, do some more sets on the shoulders, then do that. You got to build it up. You have to, I mean, if you notice a big difference, I mean, I'm right-handed. So usually if you're right-handed, your left hand is usually not as strong, but you can build it to be as strong for sure. 100%. You just need to get the reps in with it. If you get the reps in with it, you start doing more and overcompensate for those reps, you'll catch up both sides.
Yeah, I don't know what he meant. I love that he knows that he did it wrong. And so I would just correct that for him. And John did it. And then add in, don't you think like Hercules potion maybe into the left arm?
1,000,000%. So that was
Right?
the next thing we're going to go with this.
I got one.
For sure.
Yeah.
Mike's the man. So you definitely want to do Hercules potion, and it helps so many different people when it has this issue of maybe your arm went through atrophy because it was broke or you couldn't lift with it. Same thing. So at this point, if you use Hercules potion, you'll have the mind and muscle connection. You'll be able to build into that, and it will definitely help build that arm back up to so you can be symmetrically perfect there.
Hey, Johnny, I got to run out of here, but man, thanks
No
for
problem.
hanging today, brother.
I appreciate you guys.
Always,
Thank you
killed
guys.
it.
I appreciate you. Thanks, Bo.
Talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
Head on over there, hit up John, Titan Medical. Again, next week, let's see if we can get some blood work on here for you guys, and we can kind of go over that with him. I think this is going to help you guys tremendously, knowing where you're at. And the great thing about it is hopefully you're all doing okay and working right, and the body's working with you. Then it makes it easier for us to move forward. Have a great day.